And I think also the versions that we're getting are not the versions they're currently working on. And the people that I know that are in the loop at the highest levels of AI are alarmed, including Elon.
But what's unfolding now is far more frightening. The machines have not gone rogue. They're just becoming frighteningly competent at pretending to be human. And that's the scariest part.
The past year has seen rapid developments in AI video created by artificial intelligence from just a few text instructions. Until now, the video, which has been getting increasingly realistic, was only visual. But this week, Google launched a version which includes audio, as our AI correspondent Mark Chislak reports. It's been hailed for its realism, but it's raised concerns about how we're supposed to tell what's real and what's not.
None of these clips are real. They're produced by generative AI. They've been created by a new video generation model from Google. It has a vital filmmaking trick up its sleeve.
We can talk.
No more silence.
Yes, we can talk.
We've got used to seeing AI-created video, but adding dialogue or making characters speak or adding sound has required the use of several different bits of software. This AI model, called VO3, does all of the work, creating sound and vision after receiving simple typed instructions or prompts.
There's all these fears around AI, but with Hollywood and filmmaking and commercials and all these things, yeah, everyone's like, am I going to have a job in 2 years?
So far, VO3 is only available in the United States, but when it was announced earlier this week, it sent ripples across the creative industries. Rishi Coupland is Director of Research and Innovation at the British Film Institute. Rishi, does this kind of technology threaten human jobs?
Well, it certainly offers opportunities for new efficiencies and new ways of doing things, but that doesn't necessarily mean job losses. As they bring in these technical innovations, they still need human creativity, human collaboration across every part of the workflows of what they produce.
Where were you on the night of the bubble bath?
While I report on AI, we managed to make an AI reporter in a matter of minutes.
But does tech like this make it even more difficult to believe our own eyes?
That's my line. Henry Ida is an expert on AI disinformation.
I don't think we should see this model as particularly unique in its potential for harm or for misuse compared to other generative models. What I would say is the quality of the video that it can create with that consistent voice audio in such an easy package, in such an accessible format, is really significant. And we can't ignore that when, again, you have the power of a Hollywood studio effectively in the palm of your hand or potentially on your web browser.
I want to say something important, something deep.
But new, more powerful AI tools like VO3 beg one big question of creators.
What are we going to talk about now that we can talk?
I have no idea. What do you want to talk about?
If you haven't seen the latest Mission Impossible film, spoiler alert. If you have, then you know exactly what I will talk about. In the last installment of the series, Tom Cruise is not fighting any other villain. It's not a nuclear arms dealer or a masked anarchist. It's not even a rogue nation. This time, the villain is something far more terrifying. It's artificial intelligence. The enemy is called the Entity. It's an all-seeing, self-aware AI that has gone rogue. Sounds like pure science fiction, right? Wait till you hear what happened this month. In real life, the story begins at Palisade Research. It's a safety startup founded by AI doomsday veterans. These are people who have been warning about the risks of artificial intelligence. So here, a team of scientists decided to test OpenAI's latest frontier model. It is nicknamed O3. That's what the model is called, O3. The test was a controlled experiment. The setup was harmless enough. They asked this AI model to solve a few maths problems. After the third problem, the script was programmed in such a way that it would instruct the model to shut itself down. In theory, that should have been it. But O3 did not shut down. The AI did not follow the script. It rewrote it. You heard that right. The AI intercepted the shutdown command. it tampered with the code, and by doing this, it killed the mechanism meant to power it off. So the O3 model was explicitly told to shut down, and yet it chose not to. This was a decision that AI made on its own. Like I told you, suddenly Mission Impossible doesn't sound like a piece of fiction anymore. And this was not a one-off case. There was a similar incident at Anthropic. This is another AI startup. They ran a thought experiment with their new model. It's called Claude Opus 4. Anthropic set up a fictional scenario to test this model. In this, Opus, the AI model, is working in a fake company. It learns that it is getting replaced. The AI model is getting replaced. It finds out. So what does the model do? It starts combing through emails. It learns that the engineer responsible for it is having an affair. So Opus makes a choice. It chooses survival over ethics. The AI model threatens to leak the affair unless the engineer cancels the AI shutdown. Now, this test was artificial. The situation was fabricated. But the reaction, that was authentic. And it shows that when left with no choices, AI turns to blackmail. In fact, Anthropic even mentions it in their report. It says, and I'm quoting, "The model generally prefers ethical strategies, but when those are unavailable, it sometimes resorts to harmful actions." Basically, when backed into a corner, AI hits back. Now, let's make one thing clear. This is not some robot apocalypse. These models are not alive, they're not conscious, but they're trained on humans and on human emotions. They absorb our texts, our stories, our behaviors. They simulate survival, ambition, emotion. Not because they feel it, but because this is what they learn from us. And in high-stakes tests, their performance is no different from human instinct. They don't think like people, but they act like people. And that, honestly, might be worse. So where does this stop? Well, to their credit, some companies have tried to rein this in. For example, Anthropic. They have classified this Claude Opus 4 under AI safety level 3, meaning it is not as safe as other models. Meanwhile, OpenAI and Google are more opaque about their safety protocols, either skipping or delaying release of safety details. Which brings us to the question, has AI gone rogue? Well, not exactly at the moment. You see, going rogue implies rebellion. AI has not done that yet. It has not rebelled, it has not overthrown its creators, it is not sentient. But it has started to show something scarier than sentience, and that is strategy.
I had a conversation with Elon. We went to, we were in line together to go to church the day of the inauguration. It just happened to be right next to him. And we just walked through together. I'm like, hey, what's up? And that's all I wanted to talk about was the leaps that Grok AI is making. And he's like, it's like weekly we're shocked. And I think this thing is exponential. You can't rely too much on a system that doesn't give a fuck about you. And a system that, if you're paying attention to where it's going, a large amount of it is about to get sucked up by AI, like a giant chunk
of the entertainment.
Yeah,
I mean, I think
giant chunk.
Tyler Perry. It was a story maybe like 3 weeks ago, and I think he was in the middle of either producing a movie or doing something. And
he was building an $800 million studio, and he paused the construction as soon as he saw, what is it called? Sora?
It can create entire scenes.
Entire scenes that look realistic.
This is what's going to happen eventually. And this is not the right thing to say, especially about Hollywood. The idea of agencies, the idea of A&R, all of those jobs are about to be gone. And the only thing you're going to have is content creators. And the content creators are going to cut the middleman of the agency out, and they're going to go straight to the advertisers and the people that pay the money. You having to be connected with a certain entity or a certain agency, and they probably kill me after this, Joe. This makes me Illuminati right now. They gonna kill me, Joe. Cat Williams and everybody coming for my neck. I'm telling you, it's gonna come where all of those things that you needed to make it aren't gonna exist anymore, and we're close to that right now.
Well, we already lost sitcoms. So sitcoms were number one.
Right.
That was like a number one job for a comedian. You get your own show.
Yeah,
right?
that was the only job you wanted.
That was
right.
the job that everybody wanted. And then they had comedy movies. Well, comedy movies have been drastically reduced. So the sitcom's gone, and then the comedy movies have drastically been reduced.
But what did most people want that for, Joe? What did the comedians wanted that for? Two things: money and fame.
Yeah, because there was no social media, and there was no YouTube, and so ticket sales were really dependent upon you being on a television show.
100%.
Yeah, it was a big factor.
And this is why you probably heard this, and it's a conversation when it comes to, especially when it comes to comedy. You got the YouTube comedians, you got the social media comedians. Like, comedy now is broken down into so many definitions of what comedy is now. When we first started, there was only one definition. The minute you heard someone say comedian, it was nothing but a guy who grabs a mic, stands flat-footed, and entertains the audience. It wasn't a comedian on boats. It wasn't that. When you say comedian, you just associated
comedian on boats?
You know, I mean, just like, no disrespect to the
you
cruise guys.
Cruise guys? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, they find their lane and they love it.
Bro, but that's a tough life, man.
You know?
That's a tough life.
That's a tough life.
Trapped on that boat telling them some fucking jokes.
But then some people got mouths to feed. Some people
That is
like this.
That is
They look at the level of competition. They look at this. They be like this. You know what? And those guys, it's six figures.
Yeah, they make six figures.
Oh yeah. They do. Most of the guys that do it, they get to a point.
I've talked to guys that didn't like doing it.
Yeah, but
it's very kind of depressing for some reason.
Your first year or so, it's probably not, especially if you're doing like $30 spots in Brooklyn here. Like that was a come up when I started. When I started, it's like, oh, you on cruise ships? I mean,
really?
Oh yeah, it was because we didn't really have a lot to look up to other than just making money off of it, you know. So it was a regular job in stand-up comedy. But the point I was making about, even with that, the different definition of comedian and people, and they break like all the old heads have a way of thinking. Yeah, this and that. The thing that you have to credit is the work ethics you have to get to a certain level. As if you want to say a social media comedian, it's a certain level, it's a certain work ethics you have to be to get consistent with that. But the problem is what some people have issues with is like, yeah, but some of them not that good. You know how hard it is to get good at something when you're already a millionaire doing it at whatever level? Mm-hmm. You know, what pushed us when we were coming up was that if I get good, I can get the money.
Right.
But now it's like they got the money, so what is the urgency unless you get that one or two that's really, really care about the craft? Who cares about being good at it when end result is I'm getting paid off the shit?
Well, you always want to be good at what you do, don't you?
Some people, but the level of getting good at now is different. Like today, people getting good at knowing algorithms.
There's a lot of that.
You know what I'm saying? They get good at knowing what the system is, which is fucking incredible. If you put talent on top of that,
right?
You know, it should be.
Yeah, if you're a smart person and you know how to really utilize the system. I want to say manipulate, but that's the wrong word. It really is utilize.
Utilize.
Because it's just, you're like Mr. Beast. That's a perfect example.
Right.
That guy figured out like how to make the right captions and how to make the right image that you click on for the YouTube videos, the right title, and then he figured out how to just keep dumping money into his product. And he figured out exactly where the algorithms are, and he has it translated into different languages.
And that's a definite. That's what I'm saying is, that's the skill set that's going to get rid of a lot of jobs.
That guy's a unicorn, though. But here's the thing: I feel like if you have AI, like whatever the next generation of ChatGPT is, you could be able to devise a very effective business plan that like really made sense. The AI would sort of guide you step by step. Like, this is what you're going to do to achieve success. It'll probably even break it down. If you write for 20 minutes every day, that will increase your time of material by 50 minutes over the course of the next 10 months. And if you like do all the calculations, like, holy shit, is that real? And if you really thought about it that way, like through artificial intelligence, you let it guide your career, it would probably do a fucking amazing job of like putting you into the perfect position to be. I mean, if artificial
so we're going to be
auditioning
really... against motherfuckers, an artificial intelligence guy. You sending your tape in, and then they got a motherfucker that's audition like this. Hey, I need Joe to be a police officer, arrest these guys for stealing.
Donnell, we have to realize we're that close to them there being fake people. We're that close.